Good morning, Patreon. Although you'll notice it's not morning here now, but we'll just pretend that it is. Jason asked, Jason Eck, I believe, Bear, what do you see a future under President Joe Biden looking like, and how is that going to affect the way that you prepare? I believe that was the question, and since I'm not computer illiterate, but we'll just say that these keyboards are not necessarily friendly to bare hands. I may or may not have clicked something that made your question go away, Jason, so I apologize. Let me see if I can click back through it and find it. So many good questions on this post. I'm looking at the questions from the Give Me Your Questions post, which is the appropriate way to submit questions, by the way. That way they're all curated in one place. Jason Eck, what do you see the future as under a Joe Biden rule? And how will you prepare for that? Well, let's talk about that a little bit. As of the time of this recording, I don't know, we don't know which way the Senate is going to go. And I do believe a significant number of House seats have been lost to the point where they only have a slight majority at this point. So the first thing to understand is that the legislature and the executive branch should hopefully act as checks and balances on one another. So we don't necessarily know that Biden and Harris, and probably Harris, would be able to do all the crazy things that they talk about doing. I don't believe that the markets will rally around Joe Biden. I don't believe that the economy will continue to flourish like it has under President Trump, under President Joe Biden. I do think that tyranny is likely to continue, if not increase. I'm particularly interested in the ATF. My standpoint is that alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and explosives should be a convenience store, not a government agency. However, I'm only the chieftain of Baristan, not the president, so the likelihood of that happening is very low. However, goodbye, cigar. I think that the ATF may try and do some more of their wonky shenanigans that they're known for doing regularly. Pistol braces, I think, are up in the air anyway. We'll see what happens from there. Yes, right now they're only coming for the, gosh, that one whose name escapes me right now. But, was it the CMMG Banshee? No, I don't think that's correct. But that could change. In general, I think that the radical leftists are going to try and do a bunch of radical leftist things, because that's what they do. Pastor Joe is fond of saying, and I agree, that when Democrats have power, they use it. When Republicans have power, they don't. And I would concur. So I'm concerned over what they would do, the Democrats would do, while in power in the executive branch and having perhaps a slight majority in the legislative branch. Economically speaking, I think that we'll see a bear market, not a bull market. Investing-wise, I am investing and have been throughout the lead up to this turbulent election cycle in physical goods, infrastructure, as well as physical goods, inventory and infrastructure. And I'm not a financial professional, so I can't tell you how to spend your money. But for me, right now, I'm more comfortable investing my money in things that I can touch and things that increase the quality of life or the resiliency of our existence here on property than I am having money earning interest in a bank somewhere. Because even though interest is being earned, the purchasing power of the dollar is being depleted. And so when you compare the markets being up year over year 6.7% against the 10% devaluation of the dollar during COVID, we're still down 3.3% on our money. So I don't like that. So if Biden becomes president, I would continue to prepare in that direction. For me, revenue-wise, I would think that a Biden win would be good for our sales, both in medical products and training, in the short term, because people would be panic buying. I don't want that. I would rather have Trump where he was from an economic standpoint, because I would like actual prosperity. I would like long-term longevity of a business rather than short-term increased sales because a crazy person is now president of the United States of America. I've felt that many people are holding on to their money right now, as am I, frankly, without really knowing what to do with it. And I totally get that because I'm in the same boat. We will and are continuing to stack food. Sister Renee made the comment. She said, we thought you were into preparedness, but you're probably just getting started if Biden wins. And yeah, that's accurate. We have a significant amount of food storage. We are still continuing to stack it to the rafters, but we will also be expanding our agriculture. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 garden spots. Come springtime, we'll all be in production. We have goats, we have sheep, we have zebu, which are mini cows that will be arriving in the near future, and I will do a separate video on the zebu and why we chose them and the benefits and perhaps drawbacks of that particular breed. Z-E-B-U, zebu. They're cattle, but they're just a special type of cattle. We have zebu coming. We have chickens. We have, within the camp, we have guinea hens. And praise the Father, all of our freezers are full. So we will be continuing to spin up our agriculture. Our lambing, this lambing season, we estimate we have 10 pregnant ewes, which means that we should see anywhere between 10 and 20 lambs. I have a certain number that I would like to keep back for our own personal use, both for high feasts, the Moedim, the appointed times, the Leviticus 23, as well as for the freezer, because we like eating those things. But we're also going to give away a couple of Hebrew starter kits to some of our brethren, a ram and 2 or 3 ewes if we can, so that we have other people within the tribe that are spinning up their agriculture as well. So we'll be leaning heavily into that. We are continuing to seek out and purchase land. They are only making so much land. They've made all of it. There is no more of it, right? And so land is one of those things that inherently retains its value regardless of what the market does or what the economy does. Land always has value. And that's because there are resources on land and under land, and you can use land to produce more resources. So not only do we need the space to continue to expand the footprint of Bear Camp, it's good to purchase land and own land because it has inherent value. It's a pretty safe bet. If you look at the year-over-year, decade-over-decade valuation of land, it pretty much always goes up. Pretty much, asterisk, caveat. And so we intend to continue investing in land for all the right reasons. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you what to do or not to do, but that's where I'm at. I intend to continue to train people. Public safety, law enforcement, firefighters, EMS, agencies, organizations, as well as civilians, so that we have as many people out there with good equipment and good training as possible to operate from positions of strength where they are. That's very important to us, so we're going to continue to do that. Commo-wise, I'm happy. We may expand commo capability a little bit, but I'm happy with what our current capabilities are, and no, I won't discuss those here. Security-wise, you can always improve, but I don't want to say comfortable, because you should never be comfortable, but I approve of the level that we are at right now. I intend to continue to train myself. Firearms, rucking. Physical fitness is a big one. Physical fitness is something that, in the last 30 to 60 days or so has gotten away from me, and in the last 10, 12 days I've gotten back on the wagon. And physical fitness is one of those things that goes with you everywhere. If you're physically fit, if you're strong and you're capable, and you are willful and intentional with your actions, you are so much farther ahead of the game than everybody else. I intend to continue to fellowship and read the Word. I intend to continue more so than we ever have with Grindstone. From a preparedness standpoint, we have a lot of water resources, so we'll maintain those. We may expand those. Again, we have a lot of food storage. We have a significant amount of agriculture, more than most. We intend to continue to expand that. We are networking big time in our community and in our towns around here. People know us, we know them. We are in good standing with as many people as possible. That network allows us to gather human intelligence. The old boy network is a bit of an early warning system, and you get a lot of interesting intelligence from people once you are inside of their confidences. So we will continue to do that. To say nothing of the fact we're commanded to love our neighbors. So we should be doing that anyway, but there's certainly some side benefits, some perks to loving your neighbors, because they love you back. And when they trust you and you trust them, having those meaningful relationships allows you the ability to operate more freely in a hostile or semi-hostile environment. And it also, again, having that big network allows you to be proactive, more so than being reactive. I would like to continue to learn. I'm big on learning. I like learning. I've actually been thinking about studying law. I don't know that I will. I don't know that I have the time to. Or if I say I don't have the time to, I don't know that I'm as much interested in that to be able to prioritize that over all the other things that we have going on. Is perhaps a better way to say that, but it's something that I've been considering. We're going to continue to can. We're going to continue to cook. We're just going to keep on keeping on, man. We may turn the volume knob on our preparedness up more than we ever have. But understand that for us, preparedness is based mostly in community and agriculture. And then we have the militant farmer concept, the agriculture that allows us to feed the people that we love, and the security to be able to protect the people that we love. And everything for me kind of falls into those two categories. You know, you have your recon, your intel, your command section, your there's a lot of things that fall under those two categories. Teenagers. A little inside scoop. Being interrupted when I'm in the middle of a thought is one of the things that drives me crazy. But I'm working on that. So, militant farmer concept, 2 columns. You know, everything kind of falls under those 2 headers for us. And so, intel, recon, security, command, on the militant side. Agriculturally speaking, you know, you're talking about food production, food storage, cooking, and then the soft skills, as so they're spoken of. You know, the maintaining of a household, the raising of children, simply doing the laundry, you know, doing the dishes, things like that. I intend to continue to raise my children up. We will very likely continue to homeschool. I don't trust Joe Biden, and I don't trust Jill Biden, even if she is a teacher. These COVID restrictions that have been put in place that have affected our public schools in this area very likely will continue, and I'm not a fan of that. And so I'm not going to subject my children to something that is abnormal and tell them that it is normal, because it's not. Remember that part of preparedness is maintaining normalcy for the people that we love. And what's happening in our public schools right now under the guise of COVID is abnormal. And so we will very likely continue to homeschool. In short, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. We may do more of it. We may do it with more people. We may spend more time and spend more resources doing it, but we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. And I realize that that might not be the most rewarding answer for you, but it's the answer that I've got. I would encourage you that if you are perhaps not as far along the path of preparedness as we are, to just go ahead and start stepping. I do believe that the Democrats, if they get power, will use it. And for most freedom-loving Americans, when they use it, it will be at odds with your God-given, constitutionally protected rights. Population density is perhaps the #1 metric that we need to be concerned about. And so if you're in a high population density area, move, or start practicing those skills where you are, so that if you move because you have to or because you want to, you are garnering skills now. You know, grow a tomato on the porch of your apartment. It's something. And it'll be the best damn tomato you've ever eaten. So if Biden wins, what am I going to do? Same thing I'm already doing. I'm just turning up the volume. Appreciate y'all, Patreon. Shalom.